For today's lesson, we're going to take a look at Math 7-8, which is Math Honors Module 1 lesson. All right, so before we get started into the actual lesson, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a review of some vocabulary. All right, so here we are going to place the appropriate term in the blank. Again, this is a review of some topics from previous math classes. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the term variable. So again, with a variable, and we will define all of these. All right, so variable represents the unknown, so we always use a letter from the alphabet, and the majority of the times you will see X being used as the variable, but there will be cases where you will see other terms being used or other variables being used as well. We also have that 5x, 9, and 24 are all considered terms. All right. We can look here and see that 9 and 24, those are going to be our constants. All right. We can see here with this 5, remember any number in front of a variable is called a coefficient. And again, we are going to define all of these on the next slide, but just want to give you an overview. And then we have that 5x plus 9 and 24 are both expressions. The equal sign is showing that they are equivalent expressions. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we are going to define these. I know we've matched them up, so let's actually go ahead and define. All right, so a symbol or placeholder used to represent an unspecified member of a set is called a variable. So we always use a variable. In the previous example, we used X to represent the unknown. A number that is on its own is called a constant because that number is going to stay the same. So as we said in the previous example with the 5x, the 5 is a coefficient, which we're going to define that next. But because it has an x with it, that means that value is going to change. A constant does not have a variable with it. So again, a number that is multiplied by a variable is called a coefficient. All right. A mathematical sentence stating that two expressions are equal is called an equation. So we can definitely tell that the difference between an equation and an expression is that equation has the equal sign and expression is just terms put together. So operators, so we've been working with operators for a long time. All right, so it is a symbol. So we have add for addition, minus for subtraction. We can use the X for multiplication, or we have our division representing a mathematical operation. All right, the next thing we're going to define is a term. So a term is either a single number, so if we look at a constant, or a variable, or a number and variables being multiplied together. So when we look back at the expression, 5x was a term, or excuse me, the equation, 5x was a term, 9 was a term, and so is 24. All right, and the last thing we're going to define is an expression. An expression is a term or a combination of terms in an operator. So an expression does not have the equal sign, so that's what separates an expression from an equation. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is looking at clue words for operations. So in this first part, the only thing that we're going to be doing is writing algebraic expressions. All right, so given the verbal, so given the words, so normally we're used to seeing symbols. Now given those words, we're going to actually write an expression. So going from the verbal sentence to an algebraic sentence using variables and numbers. So we have some words for addition, common words for subtraction, common words for multiplication, and for division that you will see when translating. Again, this is not part of your notes in your Eureka book, but this will be available. I will upload a PDF so that you will have these clue words as well. All right, so the next thing we are going to look at is match each verbal expression to one algebraic expression. All right, so at this point, this is where I want you to pause the video. I want you to take about a minute or two to work on this as well. Go ahead and match your verbal expression with your algebraic expression. and then you will unpause the video and we'll be able to work through it together. All right, so now matching these up together, we have for A, 5 times the sum of x and 4. So this is telling me that 5 is going to be multiplied by the sum of x and 4. So we have 5 being multiplied by the expression x plus 4. And then we have the sum of 5 times x and 4. So the sum of 5 times x and 4, so looking 5 is going to be multiplied by x, and we're taking that term and adding it with 4. And if you did get any of these wrong, it is okay. You can go ahead and correct. It's perfectly fine. All right, so for C, we have 4 less than. So right here, the turnaround word. So 4 less than, so we know that 4 is going to be less than 5x. All right, so with 4 being less than 5x, we know that 4 is going to be negative. So remember, less than is one of those turnaround words. If we look at D, we have 5 times x less than 4. All right, so again, we have that less than, we have that turnaround words that's telling me that 5 times x is going to be less than 4, so I'm taking 5x from 4. All right, so for E, we have 5 times the difference between x and 4. So 5 times the difference, so we have that quantity or that expression of x minus 4, and we're going to multiply that entire expression by 5. And then last but not least, we have the difference between 5x and 4, so simply the difference between 5x and 4. All right, so we can see that here, that F and C both represent the same expression. So looking here at C and looking here at F, 4 less than 5 times x gives us the expression 5x minus 4. The difference between 5 and 4 gives us 5x minus 4 as well. All right, so now we're going to take a look at example 1. So with example 1, the only thing that we're going to be focused on today is writing the algebraic expression. So we're only going to focus on A for today, and then tomorrow we will focus on B with evaluating. So it says write an algebraic expression to match the following verbal expression. So it says twice the sum of 4 times a number in 5. All right, so let's go ahead and decompose this expression and see what it's going to look like. So we know that twice, that is 2. So that means it's 2 being multiplied by something. We have a keyword of sum. So something is being added together. We have the number 4. We have times, so times goes with multiplication. We have a number, so a number is going to represent an unknown number, so this is going to be our variable. All right, and something else we're going to do is instead of using that x for multiplication, we're going to use the dot. So for multiplication, we're going to use the dot because now that we're using variables, our multiplication symbol is going to start looking like the variable x. So the variable we're going to use here is x, and then we have in 5. All right, so we know we're going to have 2 times some expression. All right, write my 2 a little bit closer. So we're going to have 2 times some expression. And what expression is that? So it's telling me the sum of 4 times a number. So I know that I'm going to have 4 times x and 5. All right. So for today, that's all we're going to be doing is just going from the verbal, meaning the verbal sentence, to the algebraic sentence. All right, so what I want you to do right now for exercises 1 through 8, I want you to pause the video and I only want you to work on writing the verbal expression. So we're not going to evaluate quite yet. The only thing we're going to work on today is writing that verbal expression. So I want you to pause the video. Feel free to work with your elbow partner or people around you to collaborate, or you can either work independently. Once you are finished, then you can unpause the video and we can come back and check your answers. All right, so taking a look at the video, taking a look at our exercises, we have 3/4 the sum of a number in 10. All right, so again, breaking up each part, we know 3/4. We know that sum is plus, A number, again, represents a variable and unknown, so we're going to just label that x. And then we have 10. So we know that 3 over 4 is going to be multiplied by some expression. We know that we have x, the sum, and 10. All right. For number 2, we have the sum of a number and 4 times the same number. All right. So again, we know we have addition. We have a number, which is going to represent x. We have 4, and that's being multiplied by the same number. So anytime you see the same number, whatever variable you pick to represent the unknown, you're going to use that variable again. All right, so I know I'm going to have plus. I know that I'm going to have x because it's a number, so we're using x for that. And that is being added to 4 times that same number. So we have x plus 4x. I'm just going to go ahead and box these. All right. For number 3, we have twice a number subtracted from 4 times a number added to 15. All right. So let's break this up. So we have twice, which is 2. A number, which is going to be x. We're going to represent that as the unknown. We have subtracted from. We have 4 being multiplied. So again, we're using that dot for multiplication times the number. So we're using that same number x. And then we're adding 15. All right. So here, we're going to add 15. Remember from the properties, that addition is commutative, so I could have stuck 15 at the beginning or stuck it at the end. It did not matter. All right, so we have twice a number being subtracted from 4 times a number. So I have 4x, and I'm going to subtract 2x from 4x because it's twice the number being subtracted from 4 times that number. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at number 4. All right, so we have double the sum. So again, we're only writing the verbal. We're going to come back and do the evaluating tomorrow. So we have double the sum of 6 and the product of a number and 4. All right, so double. So again, double goes with 2. We know we have sum 6. The product, okay, that's another key word, that's multiplication of a number and 4. All right, so double, we're going to have 2. We have 6 plus the product of 4 and x. So we have 2 times the expression of 6 plus 4x. All right, for number 5, we have the difference between a number and 7 divided by 3. So with subtraction and with division, we have to keep it in the order that's given to us. So, with difference, we have subtraction between a number, that's going to be x, and 7, and then we're going to divide it by 3. So now here again, we're moving away from that division symbol, and you're going to more so see the fraction bar being used. So for example, here I have the difference between a number and 7, so I have to keep it in that order because it's a number and 7. And then it is divided by 3. So now that we're getting closer and closer to algebra, we're going to start getting rid of that division, our typical division symbol, and we're going to start using that fraction bar to help us represent some symbols. All right? So for number 6, it says the sum of an integer and the next 3 consecutive integers. All right? So we know we're going to have addition. This one is a little bit tricky, and it's okay. Of an integer and the next 3 consecutive integers. So if we pick an integer, we don't know what the integer is, but we're going to select x as our unknown. So we have that x, all right? So think about when we're counting, going 1, 2, 3, and 4, continuing, what are we doing? We're adding 1. So if we're looking at the next 3 consecutive integers, then what we're going to do is go ahead and add 1 to each. So we have that an integer, which is x. So to find the next 3 consecutive, we have x plus 1, because to find that number from that original x, we're going to add 1. To find the second consecutive number, we're going to have x plus 2, excuse me, not 3. I'm skipping ahead of myself. So we're going to have x plus 2, and then we have x plus 3. All right, so we have the integer x and then the next three consecutive numbers. All right, so now we're going to take a look at number 7. So for number 7, we have 3 halves subtracted from the product of a number and 2, okay? So again, 3 halves, we know that that is 3 divided by 2, so 3 halves. Subtracted from, so again, we have that turnaround word of subtracted from. The product, we know goes with multiplication. A number is going to represent x, and then we have 2, all right? So we know that since 3 halves is subtracted from, we have 2 times x, and then we're going to subtract 3 halves. For number 8, we have the sum of 12 and half the product of a number and 5. All right, so again, breaking it up, we have sum, which is plus, we have 12, and we have half the product, so half, that gives us 1 half. The product, which is going to be multiplication of a number, we're going to use x, and then we're going to use 5. All right, so we have 12, we know 12 is being added with half the product of a number and 5. So we know that 5 is being multiplied by x, but we're taking half of that expression. All right. Moving on to number 9. So number 9 is a little bit more with it. Again, all we're doing is writing the algebraic expression. We're not evaluating for this one either. Just taking a look here, let's do number 9 together. So we have that Alex orders games online. The shipping fee is $10 and each game costs $20. What sum shows the price Alex pays in dollars to buy and ship the game? All right, so let's look here. So we have a shipping fee of $10, all right? So this shipping fee of $10 is going to represent our constant, because we can tell when we have a shipping fee, that is a flat cost. So that is going to represent our constant. All right. Keyword here, each, is telling us that each game is going to cost $20. All right. Do we know how many games Alex is going to buy? Absolutely not. So we are going to use x to represent the number of games. All right, so we're going to use x to represent the number of games. All right, so we know that it's a $10 flat fee, and then we know it's going to cost $20 per game, so we have 20x because we let x represent the unknown of the number of games that he's going to buy. So now I want you to pause the video again, and I want you to try number 10 with your elbow partner, or you can try it on your own and then collaborate with your elbow partner, and then we will come back together and work on it. One quick thing before you pause, this is the fraction of 2/3. So right here is a fraction of 2/3. All right. So Mariah started reading a book yesterday. What sum shows how many pages Mariah has read if she read 45 pages of a book yesterday and 2/3 of the remaining pages today? So we have 45 and we know we have the 2/3, all right? Do we know what the remaining pages are? We don't know here. It doesn't tell us the total number of pages in the book. So we're going to let x represent the number of remaining pages of the book. All right. So we know that she read 45 pages, and then she read 2/3 of the remaining pages, so we get the expression of 45 plus 2/3 x. All right? So now what you're going to do is you're going to summarize the lesson. What are some key things that you learned from this lesson? You could even maybe state something that you didn't know before this lesson, or maybe some lingering questions that you may have.